I'm going to go over the 3 problems that were graded from the 8.8 homework. Starting with number 4, the directions say to find the surface area of the figure below and round to the nearest tenths. So let's see, we've got a rectangular prism here. We have another rectangular prism here. So what we can do is find the surface area of both of those and add them together. However, if that's what we choose to do, we are going to have to subtract this little piece twice because the inside of that is not going to show, it's not considered the surface. And we're going to actually subtract it twice because we first added it when we did this whole prism, and then we added it again when we did the surface area of this prism. So our surface area for our large prism is going to be 2 times length times width times length times height plus width times height. And then we're going to add to that the surface area of our smaller prism, same formula. And then we're going to subtract out this piece right here 2 times. So let's see, the dimensions of that would be 9 by 2. So we're going to subtract 18 2 times. All right, so starting with the large prism, we've got, let's make this length, let's make this width, and this our height. So we have 16 times 9 plus 16 times 6 plus 9 times 6. Okay, and then for the other dimensions, let's make 9 the length, 6 the height, and 2 the width. So that would be 9 times 2, 9 times 6, and 2 times 6. And then again, I'm going to rewrite this as we're just going to be subtracting 36, because if we subtract 18 twice, that's the same thing. So now I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to start multiplying. 16 times 9 is 144. 16 times 6 is 96. And we know that 9 times 6 is 54. And then we have 18, 54, and 12. Next, I'm going to add 144 plus 96 plus 54. I'm going to multiply that by 2 and get 588. And then I'm going to add up 18 plus 54 plus 12. Multiply that by 2, and I get 168. And then I'm subtracting 36. So 588 plus 168 minus 36. This leaves us with 720, and that's going to be meters squared. For number 16, the directions are the same. We're going to round to the tens place if necessary. And again, we've got 2 prisms. We've got prism number 1, and we have prism number 2. We're going to go ahead and find the surface area of both of those prisms, and then again, we're going to have to subtract out this piece here twice, because number 1, we included it with the bottom prism as part of that surface area, and number 2, we included it on the top prism as part of that surface area. So our formula is going to be exactly the same as the last one. And then let's try to find the dimensions of this rectangle right here. Okay, so if this is 4 here, then this side must be 4, And if this side here is 5 and this is 5 and so is this. So it looks like it's 4 by 5. So I'm going to subtract 2 of those. So 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract 2 of those and I get 40. So now I'm just going to start filling in. 9 times 5, 9 times 4, 5 times 4 on the prism number 1. Prism number 2 is going to be 4 times 5 plus 4 times the other 5 plus 5 times 5, and then again we need to subtract 40. Okay, so let's see, we've got 45, 36, and 20. 4 times 5 is 20, plus another 20 plus 25 minus the 40. So now grab your calculator. 45 plus 36 plus 20 times 2 should give you 202. 20 plus 20 plus 25 is 65. Times 2 should give you 130. And then we are subtracting 40. So 202 plus 130 minus 40 gives us 292 for an answer. And our label here would be yards squared. In order for me to do this next problem, I'm going to have to erase problem 16, so I have plenty of room to write. Okay, so for 17 we have the same directions, only this time we have a few different shapes. We've got a prism, okay, which is a rectangular prism. And then the top piece is also a prism, but it's a triangular prism. So our surface area is going to be 2. For the bottom rectangular prism, it's just the length times width, plus the length times height, plus width times height. For the triangular piece, we're going to have 2 triangles. So that'd be 2 times 1/2 base times height. And then we're going to have, technically there's 3 rectangles in that prism, but we're not going to count the base because we would have to subtract that out anyway. So we're just going to do this rectangle here, and then the one on this side that we can't see. So that would be 2. Those are going to be the same dimensions. And it's going to be 6.1 times 6. So that gives us the surface area of both prisms, but now we need to worry about this part right here. Okay, now I did not include that in the triangular prism, but I did include it in the rectangular. So we're only going to subtract out one of those, and that looks like it's 7 by 6. So we're going to subtract 7 by 6, which is 42. All right, so we've got 7 times 6 plus 7 times 5 plus 6 times 5. Though 2 times 1/2 goes away. And for those triangles, it looks like it's got a height of 5, okay, and a base of 7. There's our right angle. So that's going to be 5 times 7. And then we have 2 of these, 6.1 times 6, and then again minus that 42. So we've got 42 plus 35 plus 30 plus 35. So 2 times 6.1 times 6 is going to give us 73.2 and then minus 42. So now we'll take 42 plus 35 plus 30. We get 107, and then we're going to double that. So this is going to be 214 plus 35 plus 73.2 minus 42. Okay, and then we're going to put all of this in our calculator. And you should get 280.2 squared centimeters. So those are the 3 problems that I graded for this homework. Hopefully you understood why we were subtracting, okay? Especially like the 42, we were subtracting this piece that's inside, okay? And then we ended up subtracting this one twice as well. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions.